Okay. What do we want to work on while we're waiting on other things? I don't have the money for that. This job never pans out. We're 2 cycles away from that. That's just food. I mean, I guess our best option is just make some money. Yeah? There you go. 15 crowd for good service too. What happens if we get a negative? Hey, good service. Take another one of those, why not? Okay. And then for our last one, let's go to the noodle shop and get free energy. Bam. Well, there you go. That was a productive day. Hell, let's feed the stray again. Nothing's changed. Two sixes. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Ah, he didn't buy me lunch. Do it again. Buy me lunch. Thank you. Okay. Okay, got extra scrap. Let's buy ourselves the medicine we need. Boom. Okay. Here we go. The girl slides from the bottle into the lumpy recycled glass, a pale grassy yellow under the overlooks warm light. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like it's an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks. This stored in some closed off part of the old station among corroded wires and softly lubing systems. Though sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink cut through the anise, mushrooms, wood, and the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged grill is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there. Like the quiet spacers sitting at the bar right now. Watch the spacer. They are far enough away that you can freely watch them as you close the bottle and tuck it beneath the bar. You call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks: pale, vac-suited, bird-boned, and hunched beneath the weight of the station's spin gravity. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes amongst gray but kind, delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it was an instrument. A shock of black hair almost covering a forehead scar. Scars are something you have learned to value. They are what marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who know, of similar models that rolled out of SNAP's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one on your forearm, a rough little split, something that on the good days you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly, you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind it, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit! Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. How did you get that up here? Tala puts a hand on her hip. Are you gonna help me or what? You come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala? In the back, comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow, you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space as you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh shit, Tala looked at you apologetically. I know you like those. It's okay. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looked exhausted and rubbed her shoulders. Francis, I swore to... Francis, I mentioned him already. My guy on the door deals with suppliers, tall. She sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etnines up on the Greenway by now. But with our Grail, she leans against the tank. It seems like he's got lost again or joined the Haifa commune. We need that Grail. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spacers sure as hell don't come to the overlook for the ambiance. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So I'm taking matters into my own hands. She smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dank back room. You must be joking. She gives you an unimpressed look. Where's your imagination? This will work. I might need some help though, she shrugs. You up for it? She knocks the tank again. Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay. She grabs you by the shoulder. I'm excited. She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing up in half. One half for fermentations, the other we turn into a still. We'll need to gather the ingredients. She turns back to you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer, she smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh, wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Tala's grinning now as it is making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here too? A kitchen? Uh-huh. I always wanted to serve food. She turns back to the tank. This is gonna be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank and the bare room. At least she has a vision. Tala nudged you out from the back room and closed the door. As you go back to the bar, hearing the banging and thumping begin. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. Aha. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, we'll help out with that. Boom. Tola comes to help you for a bit and chats to you about her plans for the Overlook. A second pair of hands makes the work go easier. Boom. Okay. So, let's keep up on our stabilizer for sure. Okay. I think, is today the day? Yup. There's a crowd, but you spot Lem and Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They are waiting at the cordon, where Celis security are checking the crew in to board the ship. Those that manage to get up to the hub are crowded near the entrance, but even they know their chance of getting on board has long gone. What? Lem! Lem spots you around the crowd. Sleeper, we are here. They're standing beside a bag which looks to carry all their possessions they have. It is small enough to be carried in one hand. You ready? Lem smiles nervously. Well, I guess so. He hefts the bag. I hope they'll let us get this on board. We got our whole life in here. You hand over Cel's ID film to Lem, keeping your own. He turns it back and forth in light. Where did your friend even get this picture, Sleeper? Looks like my old Conway ID. You look, and a shimmering younger Lem stares out of the film, harder and clean cut. I spoke to the guard here. He nods to the white and green clad security officer. They'll be doing orientation and role assignment on board. Sounds like we are going to be working under the core crew. Kind of like an intern, he laughs. What do you think, Mina? Am I too old to be an intern? Following Lem's lead, you inspect your ID. As you lift the film up to the light, you see something strange, something that makes you flinch. A face printed in the film is one you recognize immediately, but it's not you. At least, it's not how you look now. You squint at the ghost, confused why you hadn't noticed it earlier. It's a picture you remember being taken, a memory that you didn't know you had. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floors. You remember the SNARP employee who helped you in, her smile clean and surgical. You freeze in place, thinking of you that still sleeps somewhere in an SNARP facility that won't wake until you are recovered and disposed of. And now you are leaving. Will they ever wake up? Sleeper? Lem interrupts your thoughts. These guys want us on board. You stare at him without thinking, then notice the guard gesturing to you both to come forward. You all kick off and float over to them, steadying yourselves on the guardrail. You hang back, letting Lem present his ID film first. The guard slides it across a white machine, much like the one Kessler printed them from. You reflexively rub the puncture mark on your hand. Even though there's no trace of it now, it seems to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Lem and Mina are waved through. The guard smiles at her excited face. Lem turns back to you to check you're coming. The guard beckons you closer. Board. You shake off your doubts and hand over your ID film. The guard barely looks at it as they pass through the scanner and wave you through. A new life built from old things. You okay, Lem asks, concerned as you catch up with him. You are so slow, robot, Mina teases, grabbing you with small hands. Just making sure. Lem nods, and you realize how much harder it must have been for him to cross that threshold. Mina struggles in his arms trying to get to you, and Lem relents, struggling with both bags and his daughter. Mina tumbles through the microgravity and grabs onto your clothes for purchase. Pulling herself into your arms, you all proceed up the walkway, the entrance to the docking bridge, yawning wide and above you. "Are we family, robot?" Mina asked as you move, taking you by surprise. "I guess so." Mina smiles and presses her hand against your chest, pleased by your answer. You keep moving up the docking bridge, then along that thin glass-walled connector, all the time Mina clutching onto you. The lack of gravity means you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. You both stare wide-eyed at the vast hole of this side rail horizon and try to think of this huge machine as home. Later, when you settle in your bunk after Mina has finished running back and forth between you and Lem with an endless and infectious excitement, you find yourself looking at your ID film once more. Somehow, since the last time you looked at it, the image seems to have changed. It is still a picture of the old you, the person that signed up to have their consciousness copied and placed into the ownership of SNARP. But something else has crept into that image, an underlying sense of self-identification. This is also a picture of you now. The you that survived the eye, that made friends here, that found a way out, that escaped against all odds. The other you might never wake up, they might never live again, but so be it. They co-signed you to a doomed life for their own gain. Their life is yours now. You will live it better than they ever could. You lie back on your bunk as the thrust of the side rail's vast engines kick in. This feeling, this rumble, will be your constant companion for the next decades. It will be there when you work, when you watch Mina grow, when you dream of the planet at the end of the journey. It will stay with you when your body starts to fail, despite the best attempts of Lem and Mina, as the years stack up and it exceeds its safe operating period by a decade. It will be the thing you wake up to in those rare moments of consciousness between which Mina will keep you in a frozen state in the hope of preserving you until your destination is reached. It will still be there when Mina wakes you, tears in her eyes, and to tell you of Lem's inevitable death. And it will not relent despite your desire for a moment of silence. It will be the final thing you hear as Mina shuts down all but the most vital of your functions and hopes beyond hope that you will make it to your final destination, all the while doubting that you will. But for now, this moment of departure, it is still a new sound, a new feeling, and because of this, it is filled with the promise of the future. And so you settle back into your bunk and close your eyes. And in moments that you are sleeping a perfect dreamless sleep, the most peaceful that you can ever remember. A jump over the age game. Oh, that's the company. A jump over the age. Haha. Okay. That was a fun game. I really enjoyed that. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.